Hello, my dearest friends, and welcome back to another episode of Your Fertility Counselor. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today and taking the time to nourish your heart, your nervous system, and your emotional world. Today, we are exploring a topic that really lies at the heart of so many of our adults' reactions, fears, and longings. Our inner child. You may have heard this term before, or maybe this is your first time diving deeper. Wherever you are starting from, this episode is a safe and gentle space to reconnect with the most tender parts of yourself. So let's get started. Make yourself comfortable and relax, and let's begin.
Hello, and a warm welcome to my podcast show, Your Fertility Counselor. I'm your host, Tanya Fessler, and together we will dive into all things fertility, offering support, expert insights, and practical, evidence-based advice for anyone navigating their fertility journey. So grab a cup of tea and make yourself comfortable. Let's get started.
So let's begin with a simple, grounded explanation. The inner child is a psychological concept that refers to the part of you that formed in childhood, the part that still carries your early experiences, emotions, memories, needs, and beliefs. It is not childish, and it is not immature. It's simply the younger you living inside your emotional body. Your inner child holds your joy, your innocence, your creativity, your spontaneity, your imagination, and your sense of possibilities. But it also holds wounds, fears, unmet needs, early beliefs about love, safety, worthiness, and painful experiences you didn't yet have words for. And here is the key. The inner child doesn't disappear with age. It stays inside us, influencing how we react, how we attach, how we handle conflict, and how we cope with uncertainty. Especially during a fertility journey where emotions run deep, the inner child often becomes activated. But this is not just for those being on a fertility journey. This is a topic for everyone experiencing emotional pain or even physical pain. Really, everyone. Feelings like I'm not enough, I'm failing, I'm scared of disappointing someone. Why is this happening to me? I just want to be held. These are often the voice of the inner child. So let's dive a little bit more into a little research. Inner child work is not just a spiritual or an emotional idea. It's grounded in psychology and neuroscience. So the concept comes from Carl Jung, who called it the divine child, John Bowlby, whose attachment theory shows how childhood bonds shape adult relationships. Trauma specialists like Bessel van der Kolk, of course, who show that childhood experiences are stored in the body. Or Shema therapy, which talks about child modes like the vulnerable child, the angry child, or the playful child. Parts therapy would cover that as well as hypnotherapy, of course. So studies show that early emotional memories, even if we don't consciously remember them, influence our stress response, coping skills, self-esteem, and regulation in adulthood. And if I say early childhood memories, it can go even back as far as being in your mommy's tummy. I experienced that with hypnotherapy sessions where clients would have gone back to that space just before they were born, or as a baby, for example, and they would know exactly how old they were when things happened. So the memory is constantly working, which it's really fascinating when you look into neuroscience again, which I won't cover today because this will be a longer session. But I'm intrigued to do another episode on that too. This is why certain moments hit us harder than they should, actually, because it's why we may overreact or shut down, get anxious, feel abandoned, or become perfectionistic. It's not that the adult you can't cope, it's that the younger you needs comfort. This is where inner child work becomes really transformational. And as a therapist, or even as a friend, when I'm going into such conversations and we dive deeper into this topic of the inner child work, it's so fascinating to see where such conversations can lead us. It's just so amazing, and it always touches my heart deeply. So a fertility journey often triggers deep childhood layers because it touches our most primal needs, such as belonging and safety, identity, worth, family, love, and hope. When things don't go as expected, the inner child may feel like, I'm broken, I must have done something wrong, I'm alone. Why does everyone else get what I want? I feel powerless. These are deep emotional imprints, not logical adult thoughts. To the point where such imprints can actually get stuck in the body. And Bessel van der Kolk would actually talk about it. The Body Keeps Score in his famous book, and also in his workshops and trainings. He would talk about how the body keeps score of such emotional impacts. And when we connect with these younger parts with compassion rather than criticism, something softens. The body relaxes, the nervous system shifts, and the adult self steps in to provide the safety that may have been missing long ago. This is the heart of inner child healing, becoming the adult your younger self needed. So maybe for those that are now curious to know, like, what is inner child therapy? Inner child therapy is a gentle therapeutic approach that helps you reconnect with and understand and heal the younger parts of yourself. Most models include 3 steps. Step 1 is creating awareness. So noticing when the inner child is activated, you might feel very small or overwhelmed, rejected, scared, even confused or panicked, ashamed, unworthy, or suddenly react strongly to something simple. The step number 2 is reparenting. This is the healing part. Reparenting means giving your inner child what you didn't receive then. Now, with the adult wisdom, it might sound like you're safe. It's okay to feel this. I'm here for you. You're not alone anymore. I'm proud of you. None of this is your fault. And then lastly is the integration, bringing your inner child into your present life, not as a wounded part to hide, but as a source of joy, of creativity, of softness and authenticity. This work is powerful on fertility journeys and life journeys because it nurtures your nervous system, regulates your emotional resilience, gets nurtured, self-compassion, healthier communication, a sense of safety and hope. And when the body feels safe, everything starts to shift emotionally, relationally, and physiologically. All of a sudden, I see people who had chronic pains in their body not having anything anymore. It's incredible to witness that. And it always makes me really teary because I feel, wow, this adult person has been juggling with physical pain for so long in their life. And here they are. And in 1 or 2 sessions, they rebond with their inner child, and so much healing happens. And then here we go. They feel so empowered and so full of love and joy. It's just the best. And this is why I love my work, because I just can't get enough of that sprinkle, because it's so, so beautiful to see this happening. So, how to connect with your inner child? And here are gentle ways on how to begin to do that. One way could be visualization. So we can do that together. If you are not driving or in a place where you are moving right now, if you feel safe and you are maybe at home or sitting definitely in a chair or safe on the floor, wherever, maybe you can do that exercise right away with me. If you are walking or driving, please refrain from doing this exercise. Now you can do it later. So close your eyes and imagine your younger self, whether at the age of 4, 5, 7, or 12 years. Choose whatever comes first into your mind. Try not to logically bypass what your heart told you already. Just take whatever image of you came up. And then notice, how does your younger self look like? What expression does your younger self have? And what is he or she feeling or might be feeling? And what does she or he might actually need right now? And then just imagine for a moment how you would sit beside your younger self. Maybe a favorite place of yours. Could be a childhood memory place. Could be a place of a holiday, of a favorite place of yours where you feel safe and happy. And then the two of you sitting there next to each other. You don't need to know what to say. Your presence alone begins the healing, actually. Another way is a simple hand-to-heart practice, where you place one hand on your chest and whisper, "I'm here. You matter. I won't abandon you." This signals safety to the brain and nervous system and can help to immediately calm your nervous system. And then for those that like to do a little bit more work, one of the most powerful tools is actually to write a letter. Write from your adult self to your child self. And let your child know everything and anything that you feel they should know. And for those that would like to do a more advanced exercise, you let your inner child write to you. This is especially powerful for those where your younger self might feel stuck, might have difficulties to express emotions. Emotions are maybe stuck in one part of your body. It could be in your chest, it could be in your lower back, in your hips, knees, or shoulders. These are very typical anchor points for inner child emotions to get stuck. And then really write from that place. If you have experienced chronic pains in your knees or in your shoulders, Just go there and write from that place to the adult you. And even if you don't know how to start off, just first of all, just connect with that pain. It could be a pressure that you're experiencing. It could be like a walking problem that it's being caused by the knee pain and how it's affecting you. So describe it. Just start off to describe it first and then take it one by one and dive deeper and deeper. And as a child, at the age of 5, you probably haven't had that pain yet. And maybe that's a good starting point to have that conversation with your younger self. It creates emotional clarity that words sometimes can't capture in a conversation, and it can be extremely powerful. And then for those that actually know me well, I love to always share top 3 takeaways tips. And again, I've prepared something for you today. So my tip number 1, name the younger part that's activated. So when you feel overwhelmed or triggered, ask yourself, how old does this part of me feel right now? This instantly shifts you from reactivity into compassion. Because maybe the part that is actually being activated here is 5 years old or is 8 years old, is a complete innocence younger child that doesn't know anything about the future, doesn't know about the current challenges, nothing. Just wants to be heard, maybe. And when you tune in, it can really help to shift from where you feel stuck. Tip number 2, offer comfort, not correction. Instead of, I shouldn't feel this, try, of course you feel this, and I'm here. So this is trauma-informed healing in its simplest form, because we want to be acknowledged when we have a feeling that is so overwhelming, the emotion is so big. But I can tell you, it's not your adult you experiencing that big emotion, it's your inner child. So after you know what age it has, let it know, of course you're feeling this, and I really feel for you. I'm here. I'm here with you, and you feel safe and protected. And tip number 3, bring play and softness back into your life. Please, as an adult, we deal with so many things day in and day out. And sometimes this play and softness just gets lost in translation. So your inner child really doesn't need perfection. Your inner child wouldn't even have a clue about what perfection means. So what it needs really is joy, and it needs rest, and it needs creativity, and it sometimes needs some silliness. So even 5 minutes of something playful can unlock healing. So please, please, please promise me, if you don't have time for anything of this, but you feel intrigued and a little bit curious about like, what could this be? Then just start with one simple thing, just one. And it could be like listening to your favorite music and just dance wildly, or just sing your favorite song, or just do something that brings joy, that brings creativity, or a little bit of that silliness back into your life. I'd love to hear how that goes. So as you can see, I could go on and on and on, because inner child is really what I feel really, really passionate about. And it's not the first, and it won't be the last time you hearing me talking about the inner child. because there are so many things that are attached to it. And if you feel that you had an experience with your inner child, or you are an expert in inner child and would love to contribute, please reach out to me and let me know. I would love to have you here on my podcast and have a conversation with you. So, my dearest friends, your inner child is not a problem to solve. In contrary, it's the most beautiful part of your story, of who you are, waiting to be seen and held with love. When you reconnect with your inner child, you reconnect with your most authentic self, the part of you that feels, hopes, dreams, and believes. I hope today's episode gently opened the door for you, or instilled a little bit of that curiosity. Thank you for listening and for healing and for showing up with such courage, with an open heart. I can't wait to hear from you. And until next time, be soft with yourself and take loving care of that little one inside your heart. And see you back next week.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Fertility Counselor podcast. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. If you need support or have any questions, reach out to us via email at inquiries@counselingconnects.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Fertility Connects. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to learn more about us and the services we offer, head to www.fertilityconnects.com. And if you're looking for support beyond fertility, visit www.counselingconnects.com. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.